9 times out of 10, if I'm at a restaurant and I see creme brulee, I usually order it. I love it. And I also love making it at home, but you've got a very special way of making your creme brulee, Daniel Wilson.
Yes, I do. It's a little bit of a different method. I think creme brulee is one of those desserts that people freak out about, overcooking it, not cooking it enough. So this recipe is actually a really simple way to make it that takes all of that worry out of it, and you don't even need to use the oven.
I love the sound of this. I haven't seen it being done before, so I'm really interested.
Okay, so we're going to need 10 egg yolks. So if you could get cracking, literally, and separate those yolks and whites. Just all the yolks in that bowl. Meanwhile, this brulee has a bit of a Japanese flavour to it, but also native Australian. So we're going to flavour it with some miso paste. That might sound a bit weird because you're used to having miso soup.
Yes.
But, you know, that whole sweet, salty kind of thing adds an umami flavour. And then the fruit component is this beautiful freeze-dried finger lime powder. I find that the combination of the miso and the eggs and the finger lime almost kind of tastes passion fruity all together at the end, but you can give me the verdict on that.
I can't wait to try it. And I think we should be using more of our native ingredients. There are so many out there. Davidson plums, finger limes. The list is endless and there's so much flavour in them.
Absolutely, and they support local communities as well.
Yeah, even more importantly. Yeah.
So I've just added the cream into there, so that's just regular thickened cream. And then I've got some the miso paste, so that's shiro miso, which is blonde miso. And then the freeze-dried finger lime powder. We'll just mix that all together like so, and then turn it on to just a low to medium heat, but we want to bring that to the boil and then just turn it down and let it infuse for about half an hour. All right, so you've separated those, awesome. I'm just mixing this together. So if you could add the sugar to the egg yolks and give it a whisk. If you leave the sugar on the egg yolks, it's going to burn them and make them go a bit grainy. But once you whisk it together until it's pale and light and fluffy, then that sugar and the egg yolks will come together and they won't burn.
All right, well, I'll get whisking and we'll wait for that cream to be ready.
Awesome.
Okay, that sugar has dissolved completely into the eggs.
Perfect. Let's pour this cream over, which has infused perfectly with the miso and the finger lime.
It smells great.
So pour it over, and as pouring, just give a bit of a mix so it doesn't curdle it.
Yeah.
And then from here on in, I think we're going to use the spatula and make sure you get all of that goodness out of there. Then get rid of this whisk, if you could get rid of that, please. And then, so how we're going to do this is cook out the egg yolks over the bain-marie. So the cooking, as I mentioned before, we're not putting it in the oven. So the cooking happens now. We're going to do something that's kind of counterintuitive. Normally, we would transfer this to the oven in the ramekins to bake. But what we're going to do is cook it over a bain-marie. And we want to cook it for about 20 to 30 minutes, stirring occasionally. And what we're looking for is it to get really thick and start to split.
Okay, well, we're going to keep an eye on this because I want to see that exact point of when it's cooked.
Perfect. All right, so this is looking really good now. You can see that a little bit of the fat is just starting to come out of it, and it's quite thick. And when you go like that, you can see that it's just starting to kind of almost go a little bit like the scrambled eggs on the side. Okay, if you can grab that out and just pour it into this measuring jug here. That's it, wiping the water off the bottom because we don't want that going into the brulee mix. And you can see how thick that is. So it's kind of lumpy and not particularly smooth, but tastes good.
Oh, better taste too.
Going to use the stick blender to blitz it all back together, make it all nice and smooth. So it's cooked now. It'll thicken up when it sets. So
that tastes amazing. You can taste the finger lime and the miso through that. Wow.
But it's not salty, is it? Oh, that's more like it.
Turbo. So essentially we're just trying to get that super smooth and glossy, and that mixture is done. It can be put into its moulds and we pop it in the fridge.
Exactly.
How long are we going to leave in the fridge for?
I like to leave it overnight.
Yep.
And the reason for that is so it gets a nice dry crust on it. So when we put the sugar on there to brulee it, the sugar stays dry.
Nice one. All right, we'll get these filled and we'll pop them in the fridge.
Awesome. Would you like to do the honours?
Sure, would love to. Daniel, these have set quite nicely. They really look like they've been cooked in the oven in a bain-marie, but we've cut that step out.
Exactly.
Nice one.
Foolproof.
Yeah, absolutely.
So grab one of these and then with the sugar, I like to use a teaspoon to just evenly put it around, but then also kind of just shake it and make sure you get around to all of the edges like so, but then also use your finger to just make sure there's no parts that are too thick. Just run your thumb around the edge to get any sugar off there, okay?
And this is the part everyone loves with the creme brulee. Of course, the custard, but that crack, and you need one of these babies for
Exactly.
it.
Just gently keep turning it around. So you're not trying to get one part at a time. You're just gently doing it all together so you don't get too many dark bits. So that looks pretty good to me.
It just needs to cool down slightly so it can harden. Should we do another one?
Yeah, excellent. Do you want to put the sugar on, please?
Can do. About a teaspoon. And you're using caster sugar for this.
Yeah.
To the edges. Tidy it up. All right.
Do you want to do the honours?
Oh, I wouldn't say no. Mine might come out a little better than yours. We'll see.
It might. Your sugar might be a bit more evenly spread on there. Let's wait and see.
We'll see.
And if you don't have a blowtorch, don't try and do this under the grill of your oven because it will not work. It just turns it into custard soup.
And we do not want custard soup.
No.
Oh, look, mine's close enough. There's a little bit of a patch there.
Yeah.
Maybe we should try yours instead.
Let's give it a go. Thank you.
Shall
Ladies first.
Okay. Oh, yes. And look at that. Smooth, glossy. The texture is like, it's like velvet. I do love a classic vanilla bean brulee, but there's something incredibly special about this with the miso and the finger lime. And the fact that this hasn't been baked is quite astonishing, I would say.
Yep, it's an excellent trick. Foolproof. 5 ingredients, that's it.
I love your style, Daniel.